Hi, we're back. It's been forever. Sorry. Between my schedule from work and my videographer, otherwise known as my wife Mary, her schedule at work, we're doing a lot of this, and it's just been crazy hours, and so haven't had a chance to do this in a while, but I really like doing it, so do another one. And tonight we're gonna do sausage and spinach tortellini soup. It sounds really good. And I'm doubling the recipe from what it has where I have it. I'm gonna double it because it seems like it's only gonna make about this much, and I want this much. So, you can probably hear behind me that I've already got sausage down here, Italian sausage, sweet Italian sausage, browning up in this larger saucepan, pot, I guess. And when it's just a little more brown here, which actually is probably just about right, because I don't want to do it too much, because we're going to just keep it in there and keep adding things to it, so we don't want it to get too overcooked. And instead to drain the fat that's left, but there's not a whole lot in there. I mean, I suppose I could, but I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it in there. There's not a whole lot in there. If you have excess fat and want to drain it, go for it. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave it like that. We have an onion sliced up, thinly sliced onion. We have 2 cups of spinach that's been torn and kind of shredded to be bite-sized. We have 2 cloves of garlic. Because I'm doubling the recipe, I'm going to use this whole thing. It normally calls for only about half of it. I'm going to use the whole thing. And then a cup of water. Normally calls for half cup. I'm making a cup out of it. So in goes, now that we have the sausage browning up, in goes the onion. We're going to mix this and let this sit in here and kind of tenderize the onion for a bit. Probably going to be a couple, 3 minutes of getting the onions to get tendered. So we'll let that happen, and as soon as that's done, we're going to add the garlic. All right, our onions are nice and tender now, so I'm going to add in our garlic. So that's 2 cloves of garlic. And we're going to cook that for about just another minute. Turn this heat down just a tad here. Smells good. Once we got that cooking, I'm going to stir in the chicken broth and the cup of water. So this is 32 ounces. It would normally be for the original recipe says 14 ounces, double that would be 28 ounces, this is 32. I don't think that's going to kill us to have 4 more ounces of chicken broth in there. There goes all 32 ounces of the chicken broth. And 1 cup of water, previously measured out. Stir this around, get it all good and mixed. We're going to bring this to a boil. Turn the heat back up again. Once it's boiling, we're going to cover it and let it simmer for what is it? I think about 10 minutes. We're going to let it boil and simmer. So once it's boiling, we'll be back. All right, we are boiling away here. So now that it's boiling, I'm going to reduce the heat, get it down to a simmer, and then it is supposed to simmer for about 10 minutes uncovered. And then once we let it simmer like that, get all those flavors mixed together, we'll be ready to throw in the tortellini and spinach. Let it all simmer together. Cook the tortellini. It's refrigerated tortellini, so I gotta cook it. And then we'll be ready for some soup. So hopefully it tastes as good as it sounds like it's gonna taste, but I think it will. So we'll see in a minute. Okay, my camera person is very odd. Anyway, so it's been simmering now for about 10 minutes. And so I'm going to add in the tortellini and the spinach together. Here's tortellini. Again, it's at about 1 cup. I'm doing the whole bag, which is probably about 2 cups. So I'm going to add in the tortellini carefully so it doesn't splash and burn me. And then I'm going to add in 2 cups of spinach. Get that all mixed around, and then it says to return it back to a boil. So once again, up goes the flame. All mixed in. Once it's at a boil, going to reduce the heat. Let it simmer for, again, about another, well, actually the tortellini says, because it's fresh tortellini versus frozen, it says well, I only need to boil it or cook it for like 3 minutes. So we're gonna get that mixed in. We're going to put a lid on it so it gets up to a boil quicker. And then once that happens, we're going to let it simmer for 3-4 minutes, maybe not even that, because it's already been cooking in the hot water for a couple minutes by the time it gets to a boil. So anyway, just a few minutes, we'll be back and we should have ready-made soup. So see you then. All right, it is boiling again. That only took a minute or so to get that back there. So reduce the heat, let it simmer. And I think I'm going to go ahead and cover it because some of those tortellini aren't getting under the soup fully, and I want to make sure that the heat stays in and cooks them on top too. So, all right, we're going to let that cook for just 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll be back. All right, we are ready. It's been just a couple 3 minutes. The tortellini, I think, is probably ready. See it simmering away, and actually some of the tortellini is already breaking, so I can see it's well past being done. Because we don't want the tortellini to break. All right, so we're going to go ahead and turn the whole thing off. We are going to get a couple of ladlefuls of soup. And you can use any tortellini. I used this multicolored cheesy tortellini. You can use anything that's used refrigerated, not frozen. But anything will do. I just like I like a little splash of color in my meals I make, so that's why I went with the multicolored tortellini. Okay, there's this one. Boop. Okay. There we have it. They also said, which calls for shredded Parmesan cheese, the kind of ones that are more like little tiny sticks. We don't have that. We have grated Parmesan. So Parmesan is Parmesan. It's, I think aesthetically it will look different, but taste-wise, I think we're just fine by putting grated on this, or shredded instead of grated, or grated instead of shredded, whatever it is. And then, of course, for mine, because that's another suggestion they had in the recipe, red
red pepper flakes. So I'm going to put a few on mine, just to give it a little kick. That's probably good. Okay, I think we're ready to give it a shot. Of course, it's gonna be really hot, so let's see. Yeah, even the bowl's hot. Get a little tortellini, a little spinach, a little sausage, a little soup. And blow on this because I can tell it's hot. I mean, it just came off of boiling, so it's going to be hot. Hot. But good. Good flavor. Probably could have let it warm down just a little bit. Whew. We'll see you next time.